Okay, a lot of you contacted me regarding how to design your infographic, and I'm not going to really answer that question as a lot of this is left to your own creativity, but there are a lot of examples out there for you to do your own research and decide how you're going to set it up. A quick search in Google for sustainable infographic will result in all kinds of examples and no shortage of examples for you to choose from and learn a bit about the design and decide how you want to design yours. Okay. In addition to that, a quick search for sustainable house within Google will give you all kinds of great examples of people showing you how to design your sustainable homes and give you tips and no shortage again of great resources out there. For example, the first one you can click on and it talks all about sustainable building practices. Okay. As far as the information within your infographic, you are choosing from one of the following categories: fresh water supply, heating and cooling, electrical needs, or the structural materials. As far as what you will talk about for each of these, well, what I did was I just simply copied and pasted, say for example, fresh water supply. So I copied and pasted it in here, and I looked at what they were asking about in here. It includes hot and cold water, sewage system, and waste management for the house. So I've got hot and cold water, sewage system, and waste management, and whatever you choose to include for information for these categories, you could use for your infographic and include some images and so on. Remember, what you're doing is you're deciding if you were to design a sustainable house, what choices would you make for these categories, and just briefly explain why. What are the benefits of that over the average normal house? Okay? If you're doing heating and cooling system of the house, well, we've got heating, cooling, and they also mentioned fresh air supply. So I just gave some examples here. For heating, are you going to use passive solar, geothermal? Same thing for cooling. Are you going to rely on passive solar, geothermal, or any other examples? And again, you would talk a little bit about these systems and why they're better maybe than the normal average household, how they would help. Fresh air. Air distribution and ventilation. You need to keep air moving through your house. Every house has ventilation through usually your attic. You have attic vents. How are you going to keep air moving through your house? Are there certain times of day where you will open up the windows, open up the blinds, for example, would be another example of maybe ways you could either have heat coming into the house or retain the heat that is in your house. Electrical needs. So we've got includes lighting and power. So lighting, power, any other electrical needs you can think of. And how do you plan on providing these? Lighting, and again, you could go back to using a little bit of that passive solar, the direction that you would choose to aim your house to get the most sunlight. Power, are you going to look at things like wind and solar? And again, explain a little bit about those. The last one, structural materials. All the materials needed for construction, insulation, weatherproofing, and landscaping. So I've got construction, insulation, weatherproofing, and landscaping. What decisions are you going to make for your sustainable home in each of those categories? And again, explain why. So construction, are you going to look at things like straw bale construction, insulation? We've recently learned about things like using old denim scraps for insulation and the benefits of that. Landscaping, what type of plants are you going to plant? How are you going to maintain your irrigation and protect the soil? Okay, so this is the information that you would include in your infographic, and again, you would just explain why you chose some of the options that you did, and there's no shortage of resources to research out there. And then you can also find some kind of cool images to make it look good and visually appealing. Okay? If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me.